Hey guys, so I just got back from a pre-screening of Rogue One, a Star Wars story. That's still a very weird title. Like, I know it's mainly just been called Rogue One, but that's the whole full title. But anyways, um, I was generally really looking forward to this movie to the point that I want to make note of this. I live in Ohio and I live in Northeast Ohio, and right now it is below fucking zero outside. I we literally have had pretty bad snowstorms the last couple days, and on top of that, it's below zero. But in most logical people would think, I probably should stay indoors. But I'm not like most logical people. I was like, fuck that shit. Star Wars is out. Like, I ventured out. Despite the weather being shitty as it is and very fucking cold and probably gonna freeze my ass off, is like, I gotta go see Star Wars. It's the new Star Wars movie. It's now kind of becoming a tradition for the next few years. There's gonna be a new Star Wars movie out every year around this time. So I was like, I gotta see it. This one kind of caught my eye mainly because, like a lot of people, I was like, kind of worried that they were really milking the shit out of Star Wars when they heard that we were going to get a new Star Wars movie every fucking year. Like, in between the episodes 7, 8, and 9, where we were going to get, like, these spin-off movies. And I was really hesitant about that until I read the plot synopsis for this one. And it caught my interest. I was like, alright, this kind of sounds like an espionage thriller that's set in the Star Wars universe. I can kind of get behind that. And I was like, this kind of, that's kind of a different idea for a Star Wars movie. Like, I was all on board for that. And also, it's being directed by Gareth Edwards, the guy that did the recent Godzilla remake that I know a lot of people somewhat didn't like, but I did. I understand some of the complaints about that movie. I've talked about that numerous times. But I was like, alright, I'm kind of on board for this. And the trailers were fucking amazing for this and sold me instantly on them. I'm like, it looked good. Everything, the story sounded awesome. It had a lot of great actors. It had a pretty good director. I'm like, alright, I'm all on board. And yeah, it was a good movie. And I'm a Star Wars fan, and if you're a Star Wars fan, you're probably gonna like this, as I pretty much did. I will say this right now. I will forewarn you. Even though some of the stuff I will talk about sounds like I'm complaining a lot, I did like this movie, and I do recommend this movie. This movie is not flawless at fucking all, and I'll get into the flaws of this movie. And it's a lot of the same flaws I've had with a lot of other ones, but a lot of recent Star Wars movies. But I did really enjoy this movie. I loved a lot of the new characters that this movie introduced. A lot of them. They're really like. That was probably the strongest point of this film, was the characters in this film. Between Felicity Jones as Jen Erso, which I swear to God, I laughed a lot of times when they would say her name, because it sounds like Jen asshole. It sounds like that's exactly what they're saying. And every time I heard that, I kind of almost chuckled. Man, only fucking Star Wars can get like a lot of great Oscar-winning actors, Oscar-nominated actors, that say some of the most dumbest shit in the world. Felicity Jones, Forrest Whitaker, I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I liked Felicity Jones a lot in this movie. I thought she was really good. Her story was pretty goddamn solid. She's this kid who's orphaned when she was young because her mom, spoiler alert, her mom was killed, and her dad was Mads Mikkelsen, who gets recruited or taken hostage by the Empire to help build this Death Star. And Now, this happens in the first few minutes, so I'm not really spoiling too much. So she's kind of having to fend on her own and stuff like that. It's kind of like almost the same story you've heard a million times before about the orphan that has to fend on her own, but she's recruited by the Rebel Alliance to try to find her dad, and like it becomes a really solid story. Like I thought her acting was really good, especially the scenes with her and Mads Mikkelsen were really good. She's a really good actress. She's very pretty too. Good goddamn, that woman's very pretty. But she is a really good actress. I've enjoyed her in almost everything I've seen her in so far. I liked one of my favorite fucking characters in this movie. I know I can't be the only one. Was that fucking blind Jedi? I'm trying to find. Let me look up the guy's name. That blind Chinese Jedi was fucking great. He was like, I think he was a Jedi, or he believed in the path of the Jedi, or like, you know, believed in the Force and stuff like that. He fucking would just kill people, like straight point blank kill people, even though he was blind. And it's not like we're in Book of Eli. I called bullshit on that, like a blind guy just being a expert marksman like this guy is. I can kind of believe that because he kind of, you know, is kind of being influenced by the Force. The Force is helping him shoot these people, or being an expert marksman. I can kind of get behind that. In a world that is kind of absurd already, I can get behind a blind guy being an expert marksman. Unlike with like Book of Eli. But what was that guy's name? Hold on. Sorry about that. Fuck. Oh, Donnie Yen, that's right. That's who he was. Donnie Yen was fucking great. This goddamn, he was really goddamn good in this. He stole the damn show, honestly. Also, I like that fucking rebel or Imperial robot that they reprogrammed to be a part of their alliance, or be a part of their Rebel Alliance. He was pretty fucking funny. Like, he had some great lines in this movie. Also, Donnie Yen had probably the funniest line in the whole goddamn movie when at one point they're being captured and they blindfold him. He's like, "Really? I'm fucking blind." That was really good. Everybody in the movie theater started laughing when that line happened. Like I said, I liked the robot. I did Diego Luna too as the Andor, Cassian Andor. It's hard. I have to look up these names because I can't remember them off the top of my head. There's so many weird names that, like, it's just. He was good too. Alan Tudyk was the Imperial droid. I didn't know that. That's funny. Yeah, he was really good. Forrest Whitaker was pretty good in this, and so is Mads Mikkelsen. Even though this is kind of getting to one of the reasons why I didn't like this movie, or this is one of my complaints, is that you got a lot of really talented actors like Forrest Whitaker and Mads Mikkelsen in this movie, and they kind of are wasted because they're not in this movie that much. From the trailers, it looks like they are, but they aren't. Really, they aren't. And you got those two really powerhouse actors, and they kind of like are kind of thrown away. It did drive me nuts a little bit. Shit. Damn. I love this movie was really well made and really, really beautiful. Goddamn, was this movie really beautiful. Really gorgeous. Like the scene, the sets, or like the locations, like even the CGI was really well done. For the most part, for about 98% of it was fucking really well done. There's parts of it I'll get into here in a second. I was like, what the fuck? But yeah, the CGI was really good. Like, it's really well made, really well shot. Like, I really love like just simple fucking visual tributes to like the original films. Like a lot of the same sets. And a lot of the sets in this movie look like they just came off right off the fucking sets of the original film. They did that on purpose. Like that, like it's like a lot of like visual nods to the original films that big fans of the Star Wars films will get. I really enjoyed that. Like even like just simple hallways and stuff like that. Like it was kind of cool. Like the hallways of the Imperial stations and stuff like that like look like they came off right off the fucking set of the original. I know there's something else I want to compliment on before I get into some of the complaints I had. Was fuck, I'll just get into complaints now because I don't want to. I'm sure if I think of it, I'll post it in descriptions. But listen, I did really like this movie, but this movie is not flawless. Okay, if you were one of those people that complained about The Force Awakens, and I gave Force Awakens a lot of like leeway, if you're one of those people that complained about that movie being like having a lot of unnecessary cameos, a lot of unnecessary nods to the original, a lot of unnecessary stuff that could have easily been cut out of it. Like, just felt like, man, I think part of the thing is like, because of that fucking Star Wars episode where the member berries and talk about remember Chewbacca, like them making fun of like how the recent Star Wars movies has been just kind of like basically what's the word I'm looking for, playing with our nostalgia. Well, this one goes a little bit fucking overboard. I don't want to get into spoilers, but by God, does the fucking cameos and the nods in this thing get a little too fucking much. Oh, I forgot to mention, Ben Mendelsohn was fucking amazing in this movie as that the Imperial officer that like recruits, basically takes hostage Mads Mikkelsen. He is really good. Like that opening scene with him and Mads Mikkelsen was really good. I was like, man, this guy's gonna be really good. Like, he's gonna be a really good villain for this movie. But he kind of, again, was a little bit like another great actor, was kind of wasted a little bit in this film. This movie has a lot of strange cameos and nods. Like Jimmy Smits just pops up like out of nowhere. Like they have a giant music cue when he pops up on the screen. Like you're supposed to know who he is. Only if you're a diehard fan, you would know who he is. And like I could tell, like most people in the theater didn't get that. Like that was supposed to be a big cameo because like a lot of people, there was no reaction to him like popping up on a film. The weirdest one, though, has to go to fucking Peter Cushing in this movie. I did not know about this until the movie fucking was halfway through that they did this. If you don't know about this, let me explain. Most people are going, wait a minute, Peter Cushing dead? Yeah, he is dead. But he is in this movie. Through CGI. What the hell? Okay, I did not know they did that in this movie, so it was fucking distracting every time you pop up on the screen, because you're sitting there like, did they get a really good lookalike of the original guy, Peter Cushing? Or is that really like a CGI Peter Cushing in this movie? I could not fucking figure out for the life of me. But towards the end, when they throw another Uncanny Valley-esque CGI character from the original, I'm not going to get into spoilers. I'm not going to say who because that's getting the spoilers. I was like, okay, they literally did a fucking CGI Peter Cushing. What the hell? That was weird. I mean, I'll give it credit. It actually did look pretty good, but it was still fucking distracting. Like, couldn't you really just had like a younger version? Like, you couldn't, maybe did like a replace the actor? It was kind of weird. I mean, yeah, it's an iconic role, but it's like, that was weird. Also, like, a lot of like these cameos and shit like that are kind of pointless. Like Peter Cushing, like, you already had a solid villain in Ben Mendelsohn in this. Like, you could have just had him in this, and that would have been fine. And now I'm gonna get into probably the one thing, and that is like fucking Darth Vader being in this movie. Now, Darth Vader, this is kind of like I'm kind of like on the fence with this, because Darth Vader, it was awesome to see James Earl Jones voice Darth Vader one more time before he dies. That was cool. Part of me is like, you know what? Even though his appearance in this movie is pointless, it is kind of fun to hear him one more time. Even though I only would have thought that like James Earl Jones sounded a little bit different and didn't really sound like Darth Vader in this movie. Didn't sound like Darth Vader. I only wanted to thought that. But anyways, but also at the same time, I really can't complain. Even like I said, Darth Vader could easily be cut out of this movie. There was no point in him being in this movie. Like I said, you already had a solid villain in there. But he does have some of the best scenes in this fucking movie, especially the last scene he's in this movie. He's only in 2 scenes of this thing. The only parts he's in is like the only 2 scenes, and that's it. But like the 2 scenes he's in, it is really cool. It is really fun to see Darth Vader on screen one more time. And like I said, this will be the last time we'll ever see him on screen. Unless they fucking CGI fucking James Earl Jones voice, and I'm sure they could. Like, that is freaky. Like, I did not, like, that is kind of startling. Now we can have, like, a lot of dead actors in, like, films nowadays. That's gonna be a thing, I guarantee, in the next few years. Like, we'll be seeing a lot of dead actors in films, like, CGI'd into films. Because Peter Cushing's in this movie a lot in this thing. That's really weird. And then, like I said, there's a lot of cameos, just a lot of weird, that was just felt like really, didn't really need that. Like, it's just like, it was kind of annoying. It wasn't too bad. Like, it wasn't, like I said, didn't take away from the film. Also, this movie has a very fucking depressing ending. I will give it credit for that. Like, this movie is have almost a downer of an ending. Even though it kind of does end on a happy note, but it does really have if you think about it, a really downer ending, because pretty much like you get invested in a lot of these like new characters and everything else, and a majority of these fucking characters die. Like, a lot of people die in this film. I think this is the biggest death toll I've seen in a Star Wars film ever, and like I was like, damn. I was like. But at the same time, I was sitting there like, man, really? Did you have to do that? It's like you kind of get invested in a lot of these characters, and you're like, what the fuck? And then like they die, some of them die, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, I'm not gonna go into who, but it's like, come on! Like, there was a lot of characters I really enjoyed that die in this film, and I'm like, I was like. Like that kind of bummed me out a little bit. Also, what the hell? They have like fucking not General Akbar in this thing. Like, he's a different color. You might as well just call him Akbar. Other than he doesn't say it's a trap. Also, you get like the cameos in this thing get a little ridiculous. There's one in particular that from 2 famous droids, I'll just say, that pop up for no fucking reason other than to say, hey, that's like for people to go, hey, like get easy. This movie got a standing ovation when it ended, and like I said, I wasn't bitching. Like I walked away from this movie like, that was pretty good. The ending of this movie is very weird. Without getting into spoilers, it gets into fucking some weird uncanny valley territory with the CGI at the end of the very last shot of this movie is very weird. I'm not getting into spoilers, but I like I said, I really did enjoy this movie. I don't want people to think I did not. It was a fun set. I like that. I kind of like them doing like a spin-off films, and like I said, this felt like kind of like a different kind of Star Wars film, to the point that there was no opening scroll in this thing. I think that was one big giant like trolling moment for Star Wars to all its fans, because when the movie started, everybody expected the opening scroll to happen, and then it's just a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, and it cuts to black, and then it just goes right to the opening scene, and you're like, that was kind of hilarious. And, ha! Like, I knew that was going to happen, but I was like, I'm sure that probably disappointed some people. I was like, whatever. And also, the score for this movie wasn't done by John Williams, so that was kind of interesting. And it had, like, little hints of the original score and stuff like that, but not a bunch. Like, it had its own little score, and I kind of liked that. Yeah, I was like, it felt like a different kind of film for a Star Wars film, but also, at no point didn't feel like a Star Wars. If that makes any sense, didn't feel like a Star Wars film, and especially with the fucking it could have done without all this fucking cameos. Like I said, like, even much as I love Darth Vader in this thing, for the short scenes he was in, it really was unnecessary. There was, I guess, a lot of the cameos like were unnecessary. I don't want to get into too much of them because then I'll be getting spoilers. But yeah, I do recommend this movie. So go check it out. I did like Force Awakens better than this. I'm gonna see Episode 8 one way or another next year this time. Hopefully the weather is a lot fucking better. Thank God. Jesus. Okay, so as far as trailers, I did get pretty much a lot of the ones I expected I would get. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. God damn it, I love this trailer. This trailer, I have never laughed so hard. I've already seen this trailer a few weeks ago. This trailer is hilarious. It's that one with the baby Groot and a bomb. Rocket Raccoon's trying to tell him, don't press this button on this bomb or you're going to blow us all up. And he's like, I am Groot. He's like, no, don't touch that button. I am Groot. Like I said, two takeaways from this trailer. One, Baby Groot's going to be fucking amazing. And two, Batista is probably going to steal this fucking thing, too. Batista's scene at the end is goddamn hilarious. It's like probably the funniest scene I've seen in a trailer in a long time. Like I said, this is the funniest trailer I've seen. Like, and I don't feel like it gave away too much of the good jokes from this movie. So I love Guardians of the Galaxy. And I love that they haven't shown Kurt Russell in these trailers yet. So I can't wait for, like, I hope they keep that, like, on the down low until the movie comes out, but I highly doubt it. Spider-Man Homecoming. This looks okay. I was like, yeah, all right. You got Michael Keaton as the Vulture, as the villain, and kind of looking fucking menacing as shit. He could be awesome. Like I said, I love that they got fucking Michael Keaton in this. There's one superhero that has some interesting villains, it's Spider-Man, so I'm sure we'll get a good decent villain out of this. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Vulture fan, but I'm like, whatever. At least it's somebody different, not the Green Goblin all over again. Hopefully maybe one time we'll get Venom here shortly, but like I said, I think Tom Holland has a great chance to be the best Spider-Man yet. The verdict is still out. We'll see. I'm kind of curious. It just, I'm looking forward to this movie a lot. The Mummy. Tom Cruise is making a remake of The Mummy because reasons. And he becomes a mummy himself. I don't know. I like, it's just one of those trailers you're like, I could not give to fucking two shits. I love Tom Cruise, but I'm like, really? It's like, you're in a Mummy movie remake, another Mummy remake, like, to the point that somebody in the audience goes, Well, that just shows that Hollywood has no fucking ideas left. And then right after that, we got a trailer for Transformers Last Night. It said, see, I was exactly right. Yeah, because that's the other trailer I got was Transformers Last Night. What the fuck do I say about Transformers at this point? Fuck Transformers. Like, God, this series die? Like, I also got that Pirates of the Caribbean trailer. It's like, these are two series that need to die. Just die already. And now the Transformers are Nazi Germany and fucking the medieval times. What the hell? What? Like, okay. What? I don't know. I don't fucking care. So, yeah, that's as far as trailers go. I'll be back next week with... Oh, Fences does come out next week. I know that for sure. I don't know what else. Until then, I'll talk to you guys later.